It was one of the toughest things that I've ever done in my life.
It was like a little resurgence of saying, wow, this woman is a breath of fresh air.
The whole of India is going to hate me. I thought my career is over. It mentally took such a big toll on me.
You should have walked out feeling like, wow, I killed this game.
I thought I'm going to be perceived as the villain.
But a lot of people defending you as well, if memory serves me right.
Yeah.
What was your perception of all the episodes you must have seen which you weren't part of after they went live?
I didn't watch them. It wasn't interesting. The only thing interesting about the show was me.
Producers adding drama to make a reality show even more interesting. Yes or no?
Apurva and Anshula. They played really well. As innocents. Innocence is not easy to play either.
I thought I was rooting for all three of you all
Yeah.
through the course of it.
And if you don't prep for it, how are you going to be convincing? No.
That is some mad ambition. Another captive reality show.
I never wanted to do reality because I see myself as an actor. I was born in Iran, but my heart is Indian.
Hi and welcome to the pod. Today's episode is one that I'm so excited for because Elnaz really breaks down her life journey and what got her into the space of wanting to do both Hindi and English cinema. Today we're talking with her about what the real deal is about being the fabulous traitor that she was. She really breaks things down in this episode, so it's one that you do not want to miss. Let's get started. Hi Elnaz, welcome to the pod.
Hi, thank you for having me.
I'm so happy that you're on. I have to tell you that for me, it was like a little resurgence of saying, wow, this woman is a breath of fresh air when I saw you on Traitors. It is impossible for me to dive into this without talking about Traitors a tad bit.
Yeah.
How was that for you, of course, apart from all the social media love you got?
I know. It was, how do I tell you what it was? It was one of the toughest things that I've ever done in my life. And then I had so much anxiety before doing Traitors. And then I had so much anxiety after doing Traitors. Not only because what was yet to come for me for Traitors and what I didn't know was going to happen after, but also because it mentally took such a big toll on me. So I never knew that being in a captive reality show or playing a traitor is going to be so mentally draining. I really never thought. So I just remember that after the show, I was just crying. I was stressed. Few days before the show coming out, I would just call my friends and be like, the whole of India is going to hate me. Everybody is going to say, oh, she's such a terrible person. What I thought is going to happen and what happened were just worlds apart. Worlds. Like I thought everyone's going to hate me because I was the traitor.
Aww.
Because I was the one who, but instead, and that really is amazing because it just shows the intelligence of the people is that they appreciated the talent that had to go behind that to make that kind of a show happen. And I really put in a lot of hard work into it. I even made a YouTube video out of how I prepped for the Traitors. Because I think a lot of people just don't know that me as a traitor, the way I was on the show, didn't just happen. It was a lot of extensive prep. I prepped for Traitors 6 months before I went into the Traitors Palace. Yeah. And I don't know if anybody else did that from the other contestants or not, but I definitely made sure I read each and every book that there is that could help me understand human nature better, understand if somebody's lying to me or not, who I can lie to, how do I, all of these things, I had to do it, right? And for me, it was more about entertaining the viewer rather than, oh my God, I need to win. For me, it was really about, even when I did that secret mission, I was like, yaar, घर बैठ के वो कुछ देख रहे हैं ना, उनको कुछ देखना है, entertain होना है, तो उनको कुछ दे दो.
Yeah.
Even if that means somebody is going to catch you while you're doing the secret mission, so be it.
Mm-hmm.
But at least let's give them something, That was my whole point when I was doing the Traitors. I just wanted to make sure that whoever's watching enjoys watching it.
Well, I did. So the fact that you're telling me you came out and you cried as much as you did is
Nobody knows that.
It's really surprising because I'm like, you should have walked out feeling like, wow, I killed this game. Because on the outset, what we saw was you were the only person who was really playing the game.
Yeah, and I thought so too. Like I came out and I told my team, I was like, guys, I think I was carrying this show. But then again, as actors, you always think you know. But I knew that what I'm doing in there. I knew. But what I was worried about was how is the viewer going to perceive this? How is the viewer going to see this and think about me, you know? I wanted people to love what I do and not like hate me. And for some reason, I thought they're not going to like it. So I'm glad they did.
From viewer POV, we thought you were the star. And honestly, after you left, I was like, wait, she didn't make it to the finale? Who's going to keep watching this now? Because like that, the core of the game on how it was being played wasn't really about how many friendships you build in there. It was so much more about how you really truly are strategizing, which you did so well. Yeah. You had that whole, oh, dumb girl act, not understanding what's happening to the T. You had a lot of people defending you as well, if memory serves me right.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah. Was there anything in common you saw when you came out, which was like a common comment you saw on your Instagram that people were using a specific way to tell you that you killed it? Because that was largely what people thought.
I think it was some of the most incredible messages that I have ever received on Instagram were really for Traitors. And the way people would just write paragraphs and praise me and tell me how I made them feel while playing. And I was like, it's incredible. How did I make you feel that great with me just playing a game, you know? And I think that's very important. As actors, all you try to do is make the person who's watching you relate with you. But that's in fiction. I was doing reality here and people were still relating and loving how I was playing. So I think everyone was just really praising. I think the one thing that was a hashtag also was beauty with brains, which I really loved. And then some other people were saying mastermind, which is very interesting because one of the books that I read to prep for Traitors was Mastermind. So I'm just very, I would like to say I'm lucky, but I worked really hard for it. So I'm fortunate, I guess.
All that prep paid off.
Yes.
One of the things that you said was how you were so nervous after you came out, right? Yeah. Do you feel like being in there took a toll on your mental health?
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
But has it also reversed since you realized that once the show came out that, wait, I was fretting over nothing?
Yes. It has reversed in the sense that, okay, obviously I was worried about something that I shouldn't have been worried about anyway. But what really took a mental toll on me inside of the palace was the fact that I was lying to people every day. And this whole act of when you're in front of a camera and you're acting for a scene that is even, let's say it takes you 20 minutes to act out that scene and you have to do it over and over again. You do it and you cut and you go back and you cut, you know. Here you're acting almost 24 hours every day. The only time where you're not acting is when you're in your room. But even then, as a traitor, you're strategizing. In my sleep, I would dream of what I need to do the next day. Like I was aware in my sleep because I was so worried how things are going to pan out.
And to think of all of this being compressed into just 10 days.
Yeah, it was really extensive.
But that's also why I think, like you said, people found it relatable, right? Because there's so much of pressure that anyone in life, and all of us live such different experiences, they got to see you navigating through that. And it was entertainment. It was coming out in the form of entertainment.
Yeah.
So I guess that's probably why also you became such a quick fan favorite.
Yeah, probably.
Do you think you'd ever do another show like that ever again? Another captive reality show?
Well, I've always been offered captive reality or reality, but I've always said no. I never wanted to do reality because I see myself as an actor who acts and doesn't do reality. The only reason why I said yes to Traitors was, first of all, because I was pushed and pushed and pushed. And I guess the team knew that I'll be good at it. I don't know. They saw something I didn't see until I went into the palace. But also because it required strategy. It required brains. It's not just reality, sit around and fight with people and then ho gaya, TRP. You know, it required me to, and I love reading books. I love thinking, using my brain. It stimulates me, you know? So when I got that secret mission, the reason why I was like, ho jayega, हालांकि मुझे पता ही नहीं था कि कैसे हो जाएगा. मुझे पता भी नहीं था कि क्या करना है. बाहर जाके फिर मैंने देख लिया and then I was like, अच्छा ठीक है, ये ओके ठीक है, कैसे करूंगी? Like you know, is because when there is something new, when I have to do something, I like to start thinking. I like to use my brain. I like to, you know.
And you didn't have any help from production on the tasks
No. Production was nowhere to be seen. It was insane how behind the scenes, probably they were sitting there with huge screens of 500 cameras. But we never saw that. It was very well made. And no, there was nobody.
I was very excited when they announced it in India because I've watched the American version of it. So I had high expectations.
Yeah.
And I feel like with season 1, they delivered.
Oh, well, I'm glad. Well, I'm glad.
Do you feel like being a good actor made you a good traitor? You feel there's a connection there?
Yes, 100%. Of course. Of course, you have to be a good actor to be able to do that. Otherwise, it's not easy. When people look you in the eye and they can tell when you lie. I mean, I can tell when people lie to me. So I had to really put on an act. And I did.
And what was your perception of all the episodes you must have seen which you weren't part of after they went live?
I didn't watch them.
What? You're joking. Why? I don't know. Were you just annoyed about being out and you were like, no, I don't want to watch this anymore? The curiosity. I mean, you've got some mad self-control.
Yeah.
I couldn't. I would be too curious.
It wasn't interesting. The only thing interesting about the show was me.
I agree.
No. I actually didn't get the time. And when Traitors came out, I was so busy. It was a very, very busy time for me because I also started doing Masti 4. So we started shooting for that. And I was doing multiple shows back to back. There was so much happening when Traitors released that I just made sure that I remember I was in Hong Kong when the first episode came out, first 3 episodes. And I just woke up and I was like, how the hell am I going to watch this? Because it's only available in India, right? So I had not even seen it when all the messages were coming. And I was so overwhelmed. I was like, okay, I thought my career is over. You know, that's
Really?
what I was thinking. I was thinking everyone's going to hate me. Everyone's going to be like, oh, she's a traitor. Because, see, people in India are very emotional people, right? And they don't like the villains. Now, I thought I'm going to be perceived as the villain because I was the traitor. But turns out, episode 7, which was my elimination episode, was the best episode, I was told. And I didn't know when I walked out. So when you walk out, when you're eliminated, you walk out and you're straight put into a car and you're gone. Even your bags people will bring that. So you're not allowed to stay in the palace for another second. They take you out immediately. I didn't know people were clapping for me. I didn't know the contestants were clapping for me. And like when I saw that, I was like, wow. You know, it's one thing for the viewers to love you. And it's another for the contestants to say, well done, girl. Like, we never thought. So, yeah, it's beautiful experience.
You never blame the player. Nobody ever blames. You shouldn't.
No, why?
You played it well.
Yeah, it's a game. And I saw it as a game. I saw it as something that I was given a task. I was given a role. And I said that also in the game. I was like, I am playing an actor.
Yeah.
I am an actor and I'm playing the role of a traitor right now. This is not me.
Yeah.
Just how in my films and in my series, I play a role. I was doing the same in Traitors. So I'm glad that people saw that.
Something you said reminded me of something that Priyanka Chopra said many years ago about when she was cast as the villain in Aitraz.
Yeah.
She thought her career was over because everyone kept telling her, don't play the vamp, don't play the vamp. And she did.
Yeah.
And she won awards for that. She was fantastic. I feel like it's one of her best movies through the course of her journey. So I feel like I hope you get more vamp roles.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. We always think it's not always the way we think it is. Even if you see like Tushar Kapoor for Golmaal, he was the one who didn't have any lines. And he got the Filmfare for it, I think. And here you are as an actor wanting more lines and, but it's not about that. Sometimes what we think is going to happen is not what is going to happen. So you sometimes just have to trust in your abilities, because even the villains in movies, sometimes they're so loved because they play it so well. So just do your job well and you'll be appreciated.
That's a great reference also to like Bobby Deol in Animal, right? I feel like he's gone through like whole revival of his career post that even.
Yes, or how people say, oh, you should only be playing the main lead. You should have that much screen presence and screen time. Look at Tripti. Even her in Animal. She's always been a fantastic actress. But those however minutes, I don't know, really, I don't know how long it was, but it wasn't a main lead, right?
Yeah.
But she did it so well. And it was for her. And it changed the trajectory. And even though she's done so many great films before that, this was the one that did it for her.
Yeah.
So it is not just one fits all. It really is not.
Yeah. Bulbul was fantastic with her.
Yes, she's amazing.
Yeah. So you mentioned Masti 4.
Yeah.
Tell me a little about that.
Another thing that I actually didn't want to do. I'm playing...
Why?
I'm playing the main lead opposite Ritesh, who's lovely to work with. And of course, being directed by Milab Zaveri, it's one of the directors where you're like, oh, I would like to work with this director, I don't know, because I had this perception of Masti is this adult comedy and, all of these things. And I wasn't sure if I want to do that. But then I must really say, and it's one of the reasons why I did it, is because the story this time is slightly different than what it always is. And I'm not going to say much, but it's interesting and it's fun for women. I feel like Masti probably was a lot of fun for men to watch. But now there is a part where women also going to love it. Which is when I heard that part in the story, I was like, okay, we're moving ahead. We're in 2025 and the script is showing that. And Milap's dialogues, amazing. Working with Ritesh, amazing, And I've always wanted to do comedy and never really got to do comedy. And I think I've done a really good job in this one. So I'm very, very excited to show another side of mine, which, all the serious sacred games and, all of those. And then here there is Masti with full-on comedy. So I'm very excited to show that side of mine.
When is it releasing?
21st November.
Good to know.
Yeah, just 2 months.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Am I imagining it, or are you more active on social media post like this whole Traitors and this current set of work? Because I feel like before you weren't as active. Like you're doing more on YouTube than you ever have, I think. What's gotten you to that point of saying I want to post more?
See, I don't know. I really wanted to explore YouTube a little bit more. It's just that I didn't have the time. I still don't really have the time. My team constantly tells me, you should do this and you should do that. And I'm like, but kaam bhi karna hai na. Who's going to act or who's going to sing if I'm going to be busy doing YouTube or Instagram. I really try to stay connected with the fans, because sometimes I just see the DMs that people send me and I'm like, I was that girl, I was this little girl who used to write fan letters and who used to have posters on her walls of stars. And now I am that star for these people, which is surreal. So I try to give back in some way, in a way to stay connected.
You teased a new series you're starting on YouTube, on your Instagram a few days ago, where you said, I'm starting something new.
Yeah.
You want to tell us what you're working on?
So we've started something called Hey Elnaz, where I want to answer some questions that a lot of people always throw at me, I know a lot of people have just a lot of questions about where I come from and, how did I do this? How did I achieve this and whatever? And I just felt like I wanted to find a way to give answers to those. So we've started this new series called Hey Elnaz, where I answer some questions within 1 minute. And we're getting started with that. And let's see, I hope people like it.
Do I remember correctly? There's Iran in the picture. There's Germany in the picture. You speak like 5 languages. Do I remember everything I read about you correctly?
7, yeah.
7 languages. How? And I won't say why because it's a great thing.
Mm-hmm.
But like how and how much does that help you on the regular? Because that also makes you more just in the nature of the job that you have. It also makes you more appealing and more relatable to so many more people. Wait, which 7 languages I think is what you should start?
So, Farsi because I was born in Iran. And then I learned German because we moved to Germany. And in Germany, I learned French and English in school. And then I came to India and I learned Hindi and Urdu, which I keep separate. A lot of people say Hindi and Urdu is the same. It's not the same.
It's not the same.
I know how to read and write in Devanagari, which is very different than Urdu. And I learned Punjabi as well. So, of course, it helps in many, many ways. Like I remember, for example, in between, I did a Marathi song and they were like, or even a Telugu song that I had done. And they were like, it's okay, you can just move your lips. And I was like, no. I'm not going to just move my lips. I'm going to learn the lyrics of the song and properly lip sync to it. You can see it. Like, people are not stupid. They're going to know if I have really said the words or not. Like,
so you're passionate about language.
I'm passionate, not just language. I'm just passionate about whatever I do. I want to do it to the T, Even learning Hindi, just speaking wasn't enough for me. I wanted to be able to read and to write. When I prep for a film, I read about it. I read about my character. I prep for my character. Same thing that I did for Traitors. Like I don't want to just do things. I want to do them well, right? And that's just something I follow, I guess.
How much time do you usually invest in prepping for anything? You said 6 months for Traitors.
For Traitors, I really prep.
But if you're doing like a movie role, do you like?
It really depends how much time I have. But I do take at least 1 or 2 months to, work on the role and at least like understand it. Like I remember for my film, my Hollywood film that's about to come out in 2026, Hotel Tehran, which I'm doing with Zachary Levi and Liam Neeson. For that one, I had to find a book, which I'm not going to tell you what it is because then you'll understand what my role is and we don't want to reveal that yet. But that book was just not available. I could not find it anywhere. And I had to order it to Los Angeles and have a friend of mine get it to me because it wasn't available to order anywhere else in the world, But I knew I needed that book and I needed to read that book to understand my character better. And I also had to speak to somebody who was very close to the character I was playing, but I didn't have a person like that in my life. So I literally had to ask a friend who asked a friend who then introduced me with another friend of hers. Like I didn't know these people in between, and then I called this person and I spoke to this person for hours and hours to understand where they come from and why they think the way they think, right? Because it's important. Otherwise, you're not convincing. You need to be convinced that the character that you're playing is not you. You might not agree with what the character does. As yourself, as Elnaz in real life, you might just not agree with it, but you have to understand it and you have to play it like it's you. So it's very tough. And if you don't prep for it, how are you going to be convincing? How's the person who's going to watch be like, wow, And I've seen that a lot where people come and, when you play a villain in a series or a film and they're like, oh, you did this and this to this person, you did that and that, and you shouldn't have done that. I don't see that as a bad thing. I see that as, wow, you've done such a good job, even as that villain, that people think that this was you. And in real life, you're like that. So that's all you want as an actor, I feel like.
But while performing, do you find it relatively easier to separate the art from yourself, from the artist?
Yes.
Comes naturally?
Yes. I know exactly that what I'm doing there is just a job. And I'm just playing a character and this is not me. And I switch out of it immediately.
That's awesome to have that switch. Wait, that brings me back to the question I asked earlier, which is you were born in Iran, you were raised in Germany. Did you come to India specifically with the determination of becoming an actor and making it in the entertainment biz?
Yes.
And how old were you when this happened? Like how much time?
Very young. I was very young. I was, I don't know, was I 20, 21? 20.
And did you know anyone in the business of that?
I didn't know anybody. I didn't know anybody in India. I didn't know anyone here. I didn't know anything.
Was that an advantage in a way? Because you got to just make your mistakes and go from it? Or did you feel like, of course, having those connections would have been?
No, I definitely feel like if you have somebody in the country, it also really was connected with meeting all the wrong people and making wrong friends. And, so obviously when you have someone who can guide you in a country that you've never been and is so different from where you grew up, it's not an advantage. It's a big disadvantage. But I still made it work. I still turned it around and, now the place that I just came to and didn't know anybody has become my home.
That's amazing. And I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
What made you come to India though? Like what about the Indian entertainment business made you feel like this is where I want to start?
Bollywood.
At? Really?
Just Bollywood. Just the Bollywood dream. You know how they say the Hollywood dream, but it was the Bollywood dream.
That's amazing.
It was just in me, I always say, I was born in Iran, but my heart is Indian. I really feel that. I really think that. Because there's something that took me here. There's something that never stopped me. I remember when I applied for my visa for India, I wasn't granted a visa the very first time. So I had to literally change my address from where I was actually living in Germany. I changed the address into my friend's home in Berlin. So I am eligible to apply at the embassy in Berlin because the embassy in Hamburg had already said no to me. So I had to find a way to go somewhere else. And my parents were like, maybe it's not meant to be for you to go to India. And I was like, there is no. I'm going to make it happen. And I'm going to go to India and I'm going to get my visa.
That is some mad ambition.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's beautiful. And I feel like it'll make for such a good story to go down in a memoir someday.
Yeah.
To be like, I did that to make sure I landed in the country of my dreams.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I'd love to swing into this little segment we have called Hot or Not. I'm going to throw a few things at you. You have a little plaque next to you. Oh, it's here. And if you can turn it around and tell me whether you agree with it or you think you could or you disagree.
Yeah.
So let's do a Hot or Not with you, Elnaz. Elnaz going on another captive reality show.
It's this and this because it really depends. Because it really depends. It really depends. Does it require brains? Does it require strategy? Does it require me actually using my full potential? Not? Then no.
Producers adding drama to make a reality show even more interesting. Yes or no? But they didn't in your case. For Traitors.
The drama was just there.
And it followed much after the show came out, I have to say. PR-driven controversies to stay in the news.
They exist, but I'm not big on it.
OTT awards having way more diversity than traditional awards.
Diversity is great and everything.
One person you thought played Traitors really well, apart from you.
I think I would say Apurva and Anshula. They played really well as innocents. Innocence is not easy to play either.
I thought Apurva was fantastic
She
all
was
the way
amazing.
through.
She was amazing. Yeah.
Both of you, and Urfi as well. I thought I was rooting
Yeah.
for all three of
Yeah.
you all
Yeah.
through the course of it. Who do you think should have gotten eliminated right at the beginning but didn't?
I don't know. You can't really say that because everyone's here to play, right? So you can't really say that person should have gotten eliminated.
So someone who you think didn't really play the game as a strategy, as a game.
I don't know who didn't play the game. I can't really think. Everyone played the game in their own way, and that's what it made the game the game.
Fair.
Really.
If you had to cast yourself in one really famous Hindi movie that has already been out, obviously, which one would it be?
A really famous Hindi movie. Like which ones?
Can I answer for you if you don't know?
Yeah, sure.
I think you would have been amazing in Aitraz and Priyanka's role because you rightly said you analyzed that vampy side of things so well. You would have killed it.
Okay, cool.
I'm answering for you.
Love it.
What's one role you passed up and regretted?
No, there's no role that I said no to and regretted it.
Because you didn't pass anything up or because you're a no regrets kind of person?
No, I have no regret that I said no to it because they've come and they weren't great.
Thank you so much for having this conversation with me and being so candid and lovely. I have a little thank you for you kept right next to you. This is from my own brand, Verified.
Yeah.
That I launched a few years ago. And I hope that you enjoy the goodies.
Thank you. What is it? Makeup?
There's some makeup. There's a perfume. There's a few different things that we do at Verified.
Thank you. Lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming on.
Yay.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Wow. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Something for your flight in case your bag is kept separately or whatever. Because she's going straight to the airport from here.
Right now, right away. Oh, I love this. Thank you very much. I didn't know you have your own brand.
I have my own brand. I launched it 4 years ago.
Wow.
And we're a small little brand and we're a small little team, but I formulate everything myself. And we've won a few awards for our formulations, which makes me very happy. So I podcast and I do content since 14 years. I'm a new mom. My baby's only a few months old. But this is my first baby that I had 4 years ago. So I like to tell people it's my first child.
Yeah. This is very nice. I love the heart, the ulta heart.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you once again.
Thank you.